Welcome to the New Wealth Wave podcast hosted by Dr. Joaquin Wallace. We're diving deep into the intricate layers of the 7-stage generational wealth model to offer invaluable insights on legacy building, wealth accumulation and preservation, and financial growth across generations. I'm Dr. Joaquin Wallace, and this is the New Wealth Wave podcast. Hey there, future wealth builders. Dr. Joaquin Wallace here. And guess what? We're kicking off the inaugural episode, number 1 of the New Wealth Wave podcast. So get ready to dive deep as I unveil my generational wealth model. The model is a blend of behavioral science, solid financial knowledge, and real-world insights. This 7-stage model is your ticket to creating your financial footprints. Whether you're just starting or looking to level up, I've got strategies and wisdom to light up your financial path. So let's catch this wave together. Now, before we ride this wave, let's set the foundation. First, a little bit, not too much, just enough about myself. I've been navigating these financial waters for about 7 years now, and I'm also an advocate of education and empowerment in my community for the past 20 years. This has been a passion project of mine, which started with my nonprofit organization called Project Transition. Project Transition was created to answer the call of the Personal Responsibility of Work Act, enacted by former President Bill Clinton. Now, as the founder of Project Transition, I was nominated for both the Annie B. and Ford Foundation Fellowships. I was featured in Essence Magazine and received the Living History Makers Award from Wells Fargo Bank. I also appeared in Black MBA Magazine, culminating in being recognized as one of the most influential African Americans in the 21st century. Today, I wear the hat of a financial advisor. I have several licenses, which I refer to as having many tools in the toolbox. I have licenses in life and health, property and casualty, and long-term care. I also hold my Series 6, 63, and 65, which are my security license. Academically, I have a bachelor's in economics, an MBA in marketing, and a doctorate in public policy. I've also written a book entitled Welfare to Work, a practitioner's perspective on how to develop and implement a successful welfare to work program. Did I also mention that I'm a professor at both Golden Gate University and Chabot College as well? So as you can see, I am really keen on education and being a tangible role model in my community. So let's get started with the generational wealth model. That's why you're here. It's a distinctive framework crafted around 7 pivotal stages. Each stage guides you towards generational wealth because generational wealth begins with generational knowledge. I'm convinced that without knowledge, there comes no wealth. This model provides a clear path with specific markers for our journey. There's 7 of them, and we'll get into those later on. But it's important for us to understand that each one of the stages in the journey is different to each individual, thus prompting the theory that financial literacy is organic, not linear. For that reason, some may swiftly navigate through a stage while others may take a bit longer. And that's perfectly fine, as in the final analysis, we are constantly navigating each stage throughout our adult lives. Now, additionally, as we delve into each stage, we will incorporate stories, experiences, and real-life examples to make it more relatable. My goal was not to make this podcast theoretical. I wanted each of you to be able to see how these principles play out in real life. Therefore, we will feature guests who are experts within a particular stage of the model and everyday people who will talk about their financial journey and the steps they are taking towards achieving financial well-being, ultimately creating their financial footprints towards generational wealth. And now, here's something I want you to be very, very keen on. As we walk through the generational wealth model, you can also view the model to follow along with us visually. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the model on the screen at the beginning of each episode. And if you're listening to the audio podcast, you can click on the link in the episode description to view the model. So grab your notebook, pens, tablets, or whatever you use to jot down golden nuggets because, trust me, you'll want to remember these insights from these esteemed guests. So let's get into the 7-stage model. So the model offers a 7-stage approach, merging some behavioral science and some financial edification. Now, there's a reason why I use the term edification versus literacy and or knowledge. And as we navigate the model, you'll have a better understanding going forward. The model emphasizes the blend of personal and societal influences on financial behaviors. It underscores the cyclical journey individuals take to achieve generational wealth. These financial behaviors can be generational, with some reflecting negative patterns while others draw from positive financial practices. Despite the challenging path to generational wealth, the model's adaptability is crucial for understanding and rectifying deep-rooted financial behaviors, providing a foundation for lasting financial prosperity. And now, during this first episode, I will provide an overview of each stage. However, in our next episode, I'll tell you, that's the one you want to really tune in on. We will delve deep into each stage, illuminating and discussing the particulars of each stage itself. And so make sure you tap into that episode. Now, the model again, it's 7 stages. And stage 1 is the internal and external ecosystem. This is where we'll explore inherent emotions and societal factors influencing financial choices. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about Maslow's 5 hierarchy of needs, which is important. We're going to talk about culture, learned helplessness, but I want you to consider this. Your first financial advisors were your parents. So think of it as your financial fiduciaries, those who were responsible for your financial welfare. Now, stage 2 is our financial genetic code, understanding deep-rooted emotional ties to money, like trauma and anxiety. So think of it as your DNA, your financial genetic code, which is a byproduct of your internal and external ecosystem. Stage 3, reprogramming your financial genetic code. We are unpacking all of those learned behaviors over the years, therefore removing baggage and moving in a more positive direction. Stage 4, we mentioned earlier, financial edification, not education or literacy. However, within financial edification, you do have financial literacy and financial inclusivity. So why is that important? We know there is a significant importance and there is a lack of financial literacy in this country. I mean, we hear about it consistently. People talk about it constantly. There's podcasts on it. Everyone's talking about financial literacy. However, financial inclusivity is equally as important because we have to know the vehicles that are available for us to eventually reach financial well-being, which is stage 5. Financial well-being is achieving that balance in financial matters, the ability to absorb any financial crisis and to live your life in financial health. And that's our goal to achieve in stage 5. Stage 6, generational knowledge. This is where we will strategize, talk with financial planners, as well as advisors and estate planners to determine strategies to help transfer your wealth. How many times have you heard of family members, friends, or those who are famous who estate plans were not in place or did not do the proper planning? That's why this stage is so important. And finally, stage 7, creating your financial footprints. Generational wealth begins with generational knowledge, and this is where we will tie the loop to provide you strategies to help you achieve your legacy. So buckle up because it's going to be a fantastic ride. So what is the mission of the New Wealth Wave podcast? There's several, but I'm going to focus on 3. Number 1, empower you, our listeners, with practical, actionable steps you can take right now. I'm not about just talking. I'm about walking the walk, and our guests are the same as well. We want to equip you with the tools, knowledge, and insights so that you can face your financial journey head on, no matter where you're starting. Number 2, foster a community of like-minded individuals. This podcast isn't just a one-way street, it's a dialogue. I want to hear from you, learn from your experiences, and together create a supportive network where we can lift each other towards financial well-being. The final one, challenge the status quo. I'm not here to follow the same old financial advice. We're diving deep, questioning everything, and exploring new avenues to ultimately reaching generational wealth. And by doing so, we can create those financial footprints. So, future wealth builders, are you ready to catch the wave with me? Let's equip ourselves, enrich our understandings, and let the waves of knowledge cascade down to generations to come. Tune in to the New Wealth Wave podcast. Together, let's turn knowledge into lasting legacies. Until next time, this is Dr. Joaquin Wallace. Keep riding the wave towards your financial footprints. Thank you for joining us on the New Wealth Wave podcast, hosted by Dr. Joaquin Wallace. Our show is edited and produced by Ray Haycraft. To dive deeper into the world of financial wisdom and learn how to create your financial footprints, head to our website at www.drjwallace.com. For more updates and exclusive content, connect with us on social media by searching Dr. Joaquin Wallace. And if you have questions and comments, feel free to email us at thenewwealthwavepodcast@gmail.com. Remember, generational wealth begins with generational knowledge. And as always, thanks for listening. The content presented in this podcast is strictly for educational purposes and should not be taken as investment advice. The views and opinions expressed by our guests may not necessarily reflect those of the New Wealth Wave podcast and its host or producers. Listeners are urged to exercise discretion and judgment before making any financial or investment decisions. Always consult with a financial professional or advisor before taking any action based on the content of this podcast. If you're enjoying the New Wealth Wave podcast, we appreciate if you leave us a review. We're always open to topic suggestions and guest recommendations. Feel free to reach out to us directly with your thoughts and feedback. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the New Wealth Wave podcast.